Man, I tell you what, it's kind of awesome being able to record, because what other job can you do where you're wearing pajama pants and boxers? That's right. Star Wars pants. Hey guys, just wanted to let you know that during the filming of this podcast, my audio was not the greatest. I'm actually in a new studio. I'm in my basement, my man cave, whatever you want to call it. And so my audio during this podcast was a little off. It was very like right here, so I just want to clarify that future episodes will have better audio quality and that this is kind of just an outlier. It's regrettable that it's the very first episode, and I know this is going to be a first impression of the podcast, but do not take this as an indicator of what the podcast quality will actually be. It'll be a lot better, and it'll sound closer to this. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Gaming Effect Podcast. This is actually the very first inaugural episode of the Gaming Effect Podcast. Episodes of this are probably going to be up on Fridays. I'm your host, Alex, a.k.a. Soldier First Class. I'm here with my buddy, Corey, a.k.a. Dookie03. What's up, man?
Hey, man. How's it going? How have you been?
Not too bad, not too bad. It's been a long time since I sat down to record and stuff, so I'm pretty excited about this. Excited to start this podcast, because we've been talking about it for a little while, just haven't done it.
I feel like I've been slowly trying to rope you out of retirement since like the week after you retired.
Dude, you and everybody else, it is so crazy because like I have a buddy whose name's Nine on YouTube, and dude, like every week for a while he was like texting me like, hey, so like I've been thinking about doing these kind of videos and I know you've done them before, so like what do you think? And then he's like, man, I just wish you'd come back, like and I'm like, dude, it's not happening. Well, 2 years later, here we are, and we start this podcast. I'm doing a couple videos, got a couple big things in the works, that I can't really talk about yet, so stay tuned for those. But I've been doing good. I didn't let the bastards get me down, so to speak, so I'm back. Not full-time, obviously, because, I do have my kid now. He's about one and a half, and so...
We fast.
Yeah, it really did, dude. Like I remember when my wife was still pregnant with him, I was thinking about walking away from YouTube, not my kid, by the way. Just to clarify.
When my wife was pregnant, I was like, I think now's the time to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. That's totally went through my head.
Perfect timing.
I was like, I could be a career YouTuber or I could be a dad. Well, easy choice, right?
Better go get some milk. I'll be right back.
Yeah, babe, I'm just going to get cigarettes. I'll be right back.
You don't even smoke!
I know. Well, we're having a child. I'm about to,
Yeah.
But, no, it's been great, man. I've actually been able to play some games that I missed out on over the years because I was too busy making videos. I've been able to just have fun. And that's a lot of... people don't realize about doing content is that you don't always get to have the fun you think that you get to have. Everybody thinks, oh, making videos, you get to play so many games. It's so awesome. I didn't. I hardly played games and I had a full-time day job. Plus I'm married. There's a lot of stuff that I had going on, and I don't think anybody realized just how hard I was pushing myself. Like,
yeah, I don't think like 99.9% of like YouTube commenters, I think, have no clue how much work goes into like making videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, you've got to like record the gameplay, and then you've got to, not even that, like, so me and you do like mostly like JRPG content. So not only are we like recording gameplay for a video, we're like trying to record specific spots in a potentially like 100-hour long game, right?
Yeah.
So it's like... there's like a lot of work involved, and that's just recording. That is not even like the audio recording. That's not editing everything together. Like
writing a script.
Well,
and that's the thing too. Like when you're talking about RPGs and stuff, like you want to find the specific moment you're talking about because you want your audio to line up with what you're saying.
Some people don't do that, and it kind of drives me crazy because
I know
there'll be people that do that, like, and they're just showing like the same like 3-minute loop of the game, and they'll have like 100,000 views, and it's like, and here I am like putting all this effort in, so like if I'm talking about this specific thing, that is what is on the screen right now.
Oh,
and it's
I know,
like
man.
100 views, pal.
It drives me nuts too, dude. Especially when you put like your heart and soul into a video, and then they're like, here's 1,000 views for you, and then you make like this shitty news video that you threw together in 10 minutes, and it gets like 100,000 views, and you're like, it incentivizes you to do shitty content for views instead of like doing what you really like to do, you know. And people like shock factor. They like shock television, I guess you'd say. Like, they want to see the action. They don't care that when you were 7 you fell in love with this game and you blah blah blah. They want to know, oh, when does this game come out? When does, you know, what are the developers saying? What are the press saying? Like, all these things. And then like you make a video about how it changed your life, and they're like, that's cool, but like, when does the new game come out? You know,
which is weird because like you can find all that shit with like, you just go to like Game Informer or like Destructoid for like 2 seconds and be like, oh yeah, these are all the games coming out, or like IGN. You know what I mean?
I think it's the social interaction aspect.
It could be.
People like to interact with their favorite content creators, so like they're always like, oh, I want to comment on such and such's video. So I really think that's what it is.
I think so too. Like, I'll even have like people will be like, "What do you think of this?" And it's like half the time, like as much as like our content is telling people like what we think of things, sometimes like if it's something that I know I'm not going to enjoy, I feel bad. Like they're like, "What do you think of this?" And it's like, it looks good, but it's not something I'm going to like play or like, you know what I mean?
I feel that because on a deeper level, that's how I am with Remake. Like, you know, obviously, like, I'm Soldier First Class. People expect me to talk about Final Fantasy VII, but I bowed out of Remake after what all went down. And if you don't know about that, you can check out the video that I made a few days ago on my channel. Talks about what, you know, the harassment and stuff I went through, and, you know, the mental health issues I dealt with because of it. But off topic, everybody was like messaging me or commenting on old videos or whatever and saying, hey, did you see the Rebirth trailer? And I'm like,
they wouldn't know, right?
As much as I would want to talk about it in the past, now I'm like, well, you know, it doesn't interest me, so why would I fake it till I make it in a video, right? You know what I mean? Like, why would I fake interest in something that does not appeal to me just for views? And that's the problem I had with YouTube, you know, like,
that's the problem with the whole internet.
I agree. Like, especially if you get on Twitter and you see all these fake reactions like, oh my god, I cried so much, and it's like, no, you didn't. You didn't do that. No. So what we're talking about here, and I wanted to clarify because I didn't want to feel like anybody was being targeted for this. When we talk about reaction videos and the fakeness of them, and like, oh, you know, oh, I cried so much, no you didn't, kind of thing that we talked about, what we were talking about and what we meant was these people that fake their reactions like really poorly, like they're like jumping out of their chairs and they're like screaming and crying and everything else, and like you can tell they're being fake, and then their thumbnails are always like like that, you know. So it's like, those are what we're talking about. Like, I don't want anybody to think that we're genuinely talking about people that actually cry on stream or on video or whatever, because I know that video games do evoke real emotions. I mean, I cried during Shadowbringers 5.3 because there's a certain scene that I won't mention that really, really hit me because I had lost a pet, and after playing Shadowbringers 5.3, it really killed me. So I understand real emotion and real reactions, and those are not what we were talking about. So I just wanted to clarify that real quick before the episode continues. But anyway, now that we've done with that rant, let's so what this podcast is.
Basically the opposite of what we were just talking about.
Yeah, exactly the opposite of what we were talking about. Like, we want to do, we call it the gaming effect, and it's based off of a real psychological principle called the Tetris effect. And basically what that means is that, and I'll probably maybe put it somewhere on the bottom of the screen here, but basically the Tetris effect is where someone does something so much that it begins to pattern their life, their dreams, their goals, how they see the world, everything. Like, it is patterned after this. So, for instance, somebody plays Tetris a lot. They start to see shapes and how certain things would fit together. Like, I think you mentioned something about your wife and the refrigerator.
Dude. Yeah, like our fridge is like always just packed full of shit. And it's like, I'll take something out and I'm like, how do I get this back in there? And my wife will be like, oh yeah, no. Or she'll come home with like groceries, but our fridge is already full. And then I'm like, okay, like I'd love to help you put this shit away, but there's no room for any of it. And she's like, oh no, there's tons of room. It's like, what the fuck? Like, how are you able to do this? But yeah, it's like, she grew up playing Tetris and Dr. Mario for like her whole life.
But that's why we wanted to name the podcast this. And I actually can't take credit for this. My buddy Matt from Crashing Game Night, he came up with it. Shout out to Matt, because we were knocking our heads together trying to figure out a name for this fucking thing. Like, we had some bangers. You couldn't. Yeah, okay. We'll call it that. This guy over here was trying to put the word milk in there somewhere. I swear to God, this guy sent me like 10 different messages in the middle of the night, and he's like, we should call it the Milkman or Milk Money or something like that. I'm like, that doesn't make sense, dude. Like,
we had a couple like not bad ones, but yeah, the milk ones were not good.
Yeah, the milk ones were definitely not good. But since those had, to die so that the gaming effect could live, we're right there. So
yeah,
now,
Milkman, he died for our sins.
The Milkman died for our sins. So, but yeah, so the whole point of this is that we want to be kind of like the antithesis to all of this social media shit, all these fake like personas, fake voices. I'm not doing my, hey guys, what's up everyone, it's Soldier First Class thing. Like, I'm not doing that anymore. And it feels fucking great, man. Like, I don't want to be fake. I don't want to give fake opinions. And kind of the motto that's kind of busted up in this has been, the gaming effect. Real voices, real names, real opinions. And that's why, like, my name on here is Alex. Your name here is Corey. So it's like, me and you were going to talk about health and fitness a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's something that we want to incorporate, because the whole thing that got me started on this, and this will be quick, you actually recommended me a channel that was talking about health and fitness and how like the industry is so fake and it's promoting fake messages. And that resonated with me as a YouTuber, because I look around on, you scroll down your feed, fake, reaction video.
Everything
fake,
is, every
yeah,
thumbnail. Holy fuck, dude.
So it was like, how can we come up with a podcast that not only entertains you, because I'm having fun already, and it's been like 5 minutes, but like we're having fun, and we're on this level where we're just done with it, you know?
Yeah.
So the platforms we're going to be on are going to be iTunes and Spotify, and a video version that you're watching probably right now is going to be on YouTube. So those are the 3 platforms you can find us on. If there's any platforms that we can access that you would like to, like, I know a lot of people have their preferred listening platform, whether they use SoundCloud or Spotify or iTunes or whatever.
Pornhub.
Yeah, Pornhub even.
Dude, there's like full anime episodes on Pornhub now. It's hilarious.
That's called hentai, Corey.
No. Like regular stuff too.
But yeah, we'll be on any major listening platform as long as we can get that worked out. We'll try to get to other places. But the first thing that I really want to get into, you just recently traveled across the world. You're from Canada, And that's the other big thing. He's from Canada. I'm from the U.S.
We're from Canada.
Yeah. So yeah, we're from Canada. So I think why we decided to do this too is because we both grew up differently because we both grew up in different countries.
Yeah.
But we also have these
true.
similar things that we grew up with. So I thought it would be good if we had different perspectives of gaming life, you know, how we grew up, stuff like that. So I think that's why this is going to work, because we don't always agree on stuff. This isn't going to be an echo chamber. Like, you might see me punch a ticket to Canada and come beat his ass because we just get in. No, I'm just kidding. But like, that's the thing. We thought that this would be so good to do because of our not always agreeing type.
Yeah, it's not even like not agreeing. It's like different tastes too, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Yeah.
But
if everybody was the same, life would be boring as shit, right?
I agree. Yeah, it'd be an echo chamber. It wouldn't. Yeah, there wouldn't be anything to it.
We'd all be robots.
Well, if Twitter has its way, we will be. So anyway, you traveled recently across the world from Canada to Europe. How was that?
It was incredible, man. Like, so we usually try to go to like Japan and like Korea and stuff like that, but they still have I think now they're done, but they had like masking in effect and stuff like that. So we were like, you know what? We were always wanting to go to like Sweden, Norway, and Denmark and stuff like that. But we knew it was going to be the most expensive trip we ever had, because like everything's like super expensive there.
Well, and you went like across the entire like Europe. Like it wasn't it wasn't like you just went one place. You went like everywhere.
We went all over the place. Yeah. And it was a great trip. We spent a lot of fucking money, but I think we were prepared. Like we definitely, like, when we got back, it wasn't like, oh my god, like we overspent. Like we spent pretty much what we were expecting to spend too, so that wasn't too bad. But I mean, the food was incredible. Denmark, I didn't know what to expect. Like when I was a young kid, my parents' friend is from Denmark, like in my hometown, and he would always tell me about Denmark and stuff when I was a little kid. He had like the Danish flag on his wall and stuff, and so I was like super interested in Denmark when I was a kid. As soon as I saw Dragon Ball Z, that went out the window, and it was like, I gotta go to Japan and play like JRPGs.
You heard it here, right? Folks.
Weeb. No, I'm not a weeb. But anyways,
okay.
But anyways, but then as soon as the opportunity was like, we're going to Sweden and Norway, and I was like, man, we should go to Denmark too, because like I've always wanted to go there, and I didn't know what to expect, because like, what do you think of when I say Danish food? Like literally nothing comes to mind.
I thought you were gonna say, what do I think of when I think of Denmark, and I was gonna say marijuana, but
do they even have weed in Denmark?
I don't know, maybe they don't. I was thinking, you know what? I'm thinking of Amsterdam. I'm dumb.
Amsterdam. That's all right. But yeah, no, like Danish food, like I had no idea what to think of when somebody said even Danish food, right? So I had no idea what to expect.
You're like pastries with cream cheese.
Yeah, Danish, like a Danish. Yeah, that's all I knew. But no, the food was incredible. The people were incredible. Like Denmark was probably the best place out of all of them, to me anyways. Like especially Copenhagen, like it was extremely safe. Like anyone that lives in North America has no idea like what true safety is unless they go to like somewhere like Denmark, Sweden, or like Japan. Like any of these places, you can walk around at 2 a.m. and continue doing whatever you want to be doing and be perfectly safe. Like there's
you can't do that here.
No, same here, dude. My city, I live in the highest crime per capita city in all of Canada. As soon as it gets dark out here, you won't see anyone outside. Like, cause it's sketchy as fuck here, man. But Japan, like we were walking around fucking Tokyo at 2 a.m. My buddy, the first time I went to Japan, my buddy was like, want to go to the red light district? And I was like, okay, I guess. And we went, and it was like safer than here. We were like in like the red light district, and but this trip, honestly, like the people, the food, the beer was incredible. But the best thing I recommend to anyone, if you've got the opportunity to see the fjords in either Norway, I think there's some in like Iceland. I think Alaska has fjords too, but like the fjords were incredible, man. It's like wall to wall, like just mountains. And it's not like when have you ever been to like the Rocky Mountains at all?
I have not.
So like the Rockies, it's still a wall of mountains, but it's like up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and it's just one wall like over here. The fjords are like 360 degrees around
Oh
you, and
wow,
it's just wall of mountains.
that'd be cool.
It's so cool, and there's just waterfalls like spewing out of all of them, and man, it was incredible.
Now you did tell me you went to an arcade. Where'd you go to that at?
Ah, that was in Stockholm, Sweden. They have an arcade. And it was really good. Like they had a lot of classic games. They had a couple new ones, and one of the new ones was that Final Fantasy Theta Rhythm. And that's where like as soon as I got home from the trip, I was like, dude, I gotta grab that game. Like I had seen people play it like on Twitch and stuff, and I was like, this looks fun, but I'm not a big rhythm game guy, right? So it wasn't until I was like, well, everybody that I saw is stream this game said it was like an absolute blast. So me and my buddy were like, oh, not only that, but it was co-op, but you only needed one token instead of like two separate
Oh, nice.
tokens. Yeah, so
See, my buddy, Fish Fried Cat, shout out Stefan. He loves it. Like he's a big music
it's
guy
so
though.
good.
So he was telling me like, oh, I love this game. I can't wait for it to come out. He gets it, and it just like blew him away even more than he thought. And he loves that game. So it was kind of
Yeah,
funny
same.
that like you had come back from your trip and was like, dude, I gotta get Theater Rhythm. And I was like, huh, Stefan likes that game. But
Yeah.
it's funny that you mentioned an arcade because I was just thinking like the other day, we went to the mall and it was like dead as fuck in there. And I'm not talking just the arcade, but like the whole mall was just dead as fuck. And it got me thinking like even before COVID, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
arcades just were not like you'd go in an arcade, and I'm not talking like Dave and Buster's because like that's kind of a specific
Its own thing. Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of its own thing. Like there's food, there's beer, like you go there with your family. It's like a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like back in the day, you could just go to an arcade and
Yeah,
it would
yeah.
suck down quarters or whatever, But you go now and it's like it's pathetic, dude. Like the
Yeah,
games
it is.
are 20 years old, which is nothing wrong with, but the games are like 20 years old. There's nobody there. Everybody that works there is like angry. Like
Yeah.
it's just not a fun place to be, right? So I
No,
didn't know
unfortunately.
how they are in foreign countries if they're like a bigger deal.
Yeah, like so in Japan, obviously a huge deal.
Yeah.
Like here in Canada, the only ones that were surviving, and it unfortunately burnt down now, but there was one in Regina, which is where I used to live, and it was called the Wonderland. And the reason arcades, in my opinion, died is because of the prices kept going too high, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it was like $2 a play, $5 a play. So what the Wonderland did was you would pay, say, you want to play for 2 hours, you pay $10, and then it's all free play. There's a place in Dallas, Texas called Free Play. Same thing. I don't know if it's still open.
I want to say I've been there. I think I have been there because when we went to a friend of my wife's wedding,
Yeah.
me and a bunch of the guys that were in the wedding, we went to this arcade, and it was like I want to say you paid like $20,
Yeah.
and you would just go
for
in
like
and
an hour or something.
and like they had like Tekken, Street Fighter, a bunch of like actual games on it, what felt like actual consoles. And you just went in and played and had drinks or food or whatever. But yeah, it is funny that you mentioned an arcade because I was thinking how dead they are here, unless
Yeah,
they're like
dead here too.
yeah, unless they're like a specialty place like Dave and Buster's or that place in Dallas, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I think that's what they have to do. Like you need either like a barcade. Like they do have a barcade in the city near me, like Saskatoon, but I've never been there because I don't know. I've like 18 fucking consoles in my house. Like why you know what I mean?
yeah, I
But
feel
when I'm in a foreign country and I want to play video games, the only place is an arcade, right? But yeah, no, the Stockholm place was awesome. It was totally kind of like that. Like I've never been to Dave and Buster's. They don't really have them here, but I've just seen like the commercials and stuff, so I kind of
Yeah.
know what they are. But I think it was kind of similar to that. So like you walk in and there was like all the pinball tables like kind of in like the entrance, and then there was like the bar, like the bar table you could like sit around and stuff, and then there was like a whole room, just like there was probably like 15 pool tables in it, like this huge room.
that's awesome.
And then Yeah, and then there was like 5 rooms with arcade games, and I was like, "Holy shit, like this is pretty good." And then, like I said, they had new stuff like Theater Rhythm. They had it's not new, but it's fairly new. They had like the Rambo arcade game, which is like really good. It's like a like gun shooter.
Mhm.
And then they had like a couple Initial D's. They had Street Fighter Third Strike. They had like a lot of good shit in there. So
Well,
I
and
was
I
impressed.
think I want to say like we're very like new stuff oriented.
Yeah,
So things like arcades kind of tend to die out because, the convenience of online play, the
yeah.
convenience of like just being in your home and stuff. Like the more convenient things get, the more things die, right?
The more they stay at home.
Yeah, well, the more you stay at home too. Like
Yeah.
I would say, especially over the last 3 years, like staying home has been the thing. And you would think like arcades and stuff would get bigger now because everybody's allowed to go
Mm,
out finally.
yeah,
But in reality, like
it didn't.
those business were so close to dying out anyway. And then you take and you don't allow people to go outside to go to those
Yeah,
places, and then they're just gone. Like movie theaters almost shut down, and some did.
yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a weird experience to see things that we grew up on dying. Like right in front of our eyes.
This place was
Um,
packed though in
really.
Stockholm. Yep, it was packed. Absolutely.
Well, and I feel like in foreign countries, there's more of a preservation mindset. Like
Yeah,
like,
could be.
and even certain cities here, like Boston, Massachusetts
Yeah,
puts a
there's a lot of history
lot of
there.
money into preserving its old buildings, its old like businesses and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
there's a lot of history in that city, right? So
yeah, I'm glad you had a safe trip, fun trip. I liked hearing about it. I'm sure the listeners liked hearing about it. Uh, what games? Speaking of games, are you currently excited for?
I did 4. This is tough because some of the games I'm excited for are games that like got mentioned 2 years ago and then never brought up again.
I feel you.
So like Dragon Quest 12, I'm excited for, but also a little nervous. And then the Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake, again, very excited for, but very nervous because they've remade the game a couple of times and they only really got it right the first time on the Super Famicom because they keep like removing features that they either had in the original or had in the first remake, and then they just it's so weird when they do
Well, and the
that.
other thing about like the 2D HD remakes is like I want to preface this by saying that I know that voice direction has a big thing to do with it, but I I do not like the voice direction of 2D HD games.
Yeah, a
Like
lot of times
as
it's
much as
over
I
wordy
love
too.
yeah, as much as I love Triangle Strategy, like absolutely love that game, I can't deal with the voices. Like it's the best of the 2D HD games I think voice-wise, but like dude, Octopath Traveler couldn't do it.
Yeah,
I
the
fucking hated
voice.
that game, and I know that's like a
Yeah,
hot take in the RPG
I don't think it
community.
is honestly. The
I
more
think
people
it's
I talk to,
50-50, dude. I think
yeah,
like 50-50 on people that either love the game or they don't like the game, and I'm on the I don't like the game, and I'm not gonna harp on it obviously because like that's just
yeah.
not what we plan to do. But
I
it
think with Octopath, I'm very, very thankful that it came out and did as well as it did because I don't think we'd be getting any of these sprite-based games if Octopath didn't do so well.
yeah
Bec-
yeah
like initially, when people saw that, including myself, we were like, "Holy shit, man! This game looks fucking incredible, right?" And then you play it, and it's just like the most long-winded, and the combat is very like I love to grind, and this game makes it like frustrating to grind in. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well,
But
and
other than that, I'm still appreciative of what it did for the gaming industry. It breathed a lot of new life, showing that like big companies can still release these pixel based games and do really well.
the art style's really cool, and I
It's
mean it's
gorgeous.
not like I don't want every small title to be 2D HD, but I
Yes.
think if you do it right, it does work out well. Like Eowyn Chronicles, which I completely forgot about until like 2 days ago.
That's another one they
I
mentioned like
I
2 years ago and then
yeah,
just
I
never
even
talked about it
I
again.
backed that on Kickstarter, like with I a lot more money than I'd care to admit, but I'm a
Single-handedly
whore.
funded it.
You know me, I'm a whore for physical stuff. So like,
Yeah.
when they were like, oh, pledge $10 and you get a steelbook, pledge $12 and you get a map, pledge $20 and you get like this statue or whatever. I'm like, fuck yeah, sign me up. And then I'm like, $400 deep, and I'm like, what happened?
What happened?
What happened, dude? Obviously, I think this answer for me is going to be pretty obvious, but Final Fantasy 16, dude.
Yeah. That's right around the corner, too.
It is, dude. It's like it's literally 12 days away. I cannot wait. 12 days from the time of this recording, anyway. Besides Final Fantasy 16, I don't know. I've been so focused on that game, like it's hard for me to. And plus, I've got Tears of the Kingdom that I have to finish. Final Fantasy 16 coming out. There's so many games I can't even think of right now that I've probably heard of or whatever. Eiyuden Chronicles is supposed to come out later this year. Supposed to. I don't know if it will.
How was the beat 'em up? Didn't they released like a beat 'em up or something?
I tried it. I wasn't like. I think maybe I just wasn't.
Really?
I'm not saying it's bad. I just don't think I was into it at the time.
Oh.
So like when I went to play it, I wasn't really in the mood. I think I was going through gaming void syndrome, but
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty focused on 16 right now, so
yeah, and it's so close too. You don't even really want to.
Yeah, I don't really want to start anything. Like I thought about, I was having.
That's the worst.
I
dude.
know.
When you're looking forward to a game, but you finished your last game like 2 weeks ago or something, and you're like, fuck.
Well, and you get like fear of missing out on certain games. Like Diablo 4 is out, and I played Diablo 3. I love Diablo 2. On Diablo 1, but Diablo 4 is a game I could see myself playing. But I'm at this point like where I don't want to start it and feel rushed to play it.
Yeah.
And then get into 16. So I'm holding off on Diablo until later. I hear it's fucking phenomenal, but just not.
Yeah, I heard good things. I heard the story's really good.
Yeah, just not something for me right now, right? Now, you did mention a word that I want to talk about, and it actually segues into our next topic very, very nicely. And it's grinding.
Yeah.
People don't understand that grinding in a video game is kind of like grinding in real life.
Absolutely.
And they spend so much time grinding in these games. And I'm not saying there's a problem with that. We both play RPGs. We both do it.
Yeah,
we both love to grind, right? You even
do you love to grind? I didn't even know that.
It's okay sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah. But like, it's like one of your channel's taglines, like give into the grind or,
Yeah.
So, but when we started this podcast, we were talking about what topics we were going to talk about, and it does involve gaming, like the whole health and fitness aspect. It does involve gaming because of what gaming can do to you, and
what can it do? What it can do for you? Like I wouldn't have the grind mentality. Like I hate saying that because it's such a fucking douchey like gym bro thing to say. But like when I say grind mentality, I mean like the mentality to like persevere through small like improvements. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like
plateaus.
When people are like, yeah. When people are like, yeah, it's all about the grind, bro. Like for me, it's like I work out like almost every single day, and you have to be okay with like the small little increments of increase or none. Sometimes you'll improve none, but sometimes it's just maintenance. Sometimes it's just doing what's good for your body. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
you have to be okay with that.
Yeah, and it's like, I understand that a lot of games don't respect your time.
Yeah,
and people still love those games, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but like, instead of playing for 6 hours, right?
Yeah.
Play for 5, go to the gym.
Yeah.
If you got time when you come back from the gym, or like as a habit, gaming makes you snack. You want to snack while you're gaming, but you don't want to get up and go to the kitchen, so you keep snacks on you. Well, what's the easiest thing to keep on you? Candy bars, energy drinks, bags of chips, stuff that you can wrap up and put it next to you, and an hour later unwrap and eat. Like,
Yeah.
and the food you eat, unless you are conscious about it, you're putting in way more calories in your body than you either care to admit or even know. Like,
100%.
so I think kind of the message we're trying to get out is like,
Look after yourself.
well, yeah, look after yourself, but apply the things that you've learned from gaming into your daily life, because there are lessons to learn. Like,
Absolutely.
you know,
Put the
the
same
grind.
put the same amount of time and care that you would into the character that you want to finish a game with into yourself as well, because your life is a game,
And it's
right? Like
short. You know,
it's short. You
it,
want the highest quality of life. Like I am the guy this like I do martial arts and stuff too. So they call it sandbagging in martial arts when you like fight somebody that's like you can beat. But to me, like I do that in JRPGs all the time. Like I think when I streamed Final Fantasy 6, I like one hit killed Kefka. Like that's how OP I like to get. So I transfer that into my life too, right? Like if I need to be here, I want to be here. You know what I mean?
yeah, well, that's kind of like the Dark Souls games. Like, they're always telling you, oh, you know, it's hard to grind those games. You know, there's only so many enemies. Guess what, buddy? I do it. Like, I will
Yeah.
fight the same 50 enemies in a row and get souls and runes or whatever, and
Yeah,
level
exactly.
myself up where I feel confident enough to fight the boss. And like, you know, you'll have people that are like, "Oh, get good," but I don't give a fuck, dude. Like, I'm playing that game to beat the shit out of it. Like, I'm not saying break it, you know,
I'm saying break
but like, you
it.
know, if you walk into a level 12 fight and you're level 2 and
Yeah,
you're just beating your head against a wall and you're getting your ass beat, like, go grind a little, you know?
yeah.
Or if like,
And look at that same analogy you just made, but in real life. If you're not happy with your life, you're not happy with like what you can and cannot do. You
right,
can change that. I think people think that because of how the fitness industry is now, they think you have to buy something, you have to do something. No,
right,
dude, do some push-ups, do some sit-ups, like and keep it's consistency is key, right? Like it's about keeping up with it, doing it all the time. Obviously, when you first start out, keep it light, keep the frequency like every second day or something,
yeah,
but slowly work your way into it, right? You're gonna start off fighting fucking behemoths. You're gonna start off fighting goblins or slimes,
right.
right?
Well, and if you think about it, like, if you treat your body like an RPG, you know, if you think about it, like, the more you improve yourself, the higher your confidence gets.
Yep.
So like, if you want to look at it like statistics, like charisma, your charisma stat goes up because you're feeling better, you're more social, you know, you're doing all these things. It's like an RPG, man. Like, you're pushing yourself past your limits, and like,
Your quality of life is just so much better, man.
right. Well, and the thing is, you only get one life.
Yeah.
And
That's
and
the other thing.
so that's one reason we started this whole thing, was like, we want to help people do the things that we've been able to do. Cuz
Yeah.
like, I'm still on my journey, right? Like, I'm still pushing past my limits. I started 6 weeks ago. We actually sat down, me and my wife, and we actually calculated it out. And in that 6 weeks I've lost 20 pounds, right? And so I can feel my joints not hurting as much. When I sit down to game, I don't feel miserable. You know, like, I would feel bloated and disgusting because I was eating out all the time. I was eating Chinese. I was eating,
Mhm.
you know, I was going to Mexican. I was, you know, eating pizza. And
Burgers,
now that
whatever.
now that I'm cleaning myself up and doing these things, like, I feel so much better, dude. It's not even funny. Like, mentally I feel better, physically I feel better, and like, when I go to sit down to game, I don't feel like I'm wasting my life
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because
I
I
think
feel so much better.
I think a big problem that the people hit or that arises is people that are very unhealthy and live very unhealthy lifestyles. Because that's just how they grew up, right? That's a
Right.
thing. That's probably the most common, honestly, because like
Yeah.
most
Well, people
most
aren't
of our
educated about food or anything like that because they just, you know, ate what was at home. Well, then when they
yeah.
grew up, they didn't know any better.
Yeah, exactly. But I think people don't know what it's like to feel good. Like it's hard to explain that, but like you don't realize it right now. If you're out of shape or whatever, anyone who's listening or watching, if you're out of shape and your self confidence isn't that great, you think that that's how you are supposed to feel. That is not how you're supposed to feel.
No.
Once you start like changing your lifestyle, putting that work into your body and your mental health, you're gonna feel so much better, and you're gonna be like, wow, I felt like shit. But today, if you're watching this today, you're thinking, well, I don't feel like shit. I just feel like normal. But once you feel what it feels like to move past that, you'll realize how shitty you're feeling.
Yeah, like
right now.
like honestly, I sit here and like at one point, full disclosure, I was at 281 pounds.
Wow.
I'm 6 foot tall, dude. Like, I'm now 231 pounds.
Holy shit, man.
And I feel, even just the 20 pounds I've lost recently, I feel so much better. And like, I don't want anybody to think that we're sitting here bad-mouthing you or
we want you to
improve. We want
you to be the best version of you.
We want to help people. And we don't want to come off as like self-righteous or like, oh, we know better than you, because I don't know shit. I'm just doing what I have found works for me. And that's the other thing that's the problem, is that like
everybody needs to find that. Yeah,
what's working for me doesn't work for Corey. Like, you know, different metabolisms, different genetics, different, you know, lifestyles, everything.
Yeah.
So like, you know, I hate the question. I see it all the time, and I've even asked it myself. Like, what did you do? What are you doing to lose all this weight? What did you, you know?
Yeah.
That's not a question you should ask anybody. And I'm not saying because it's personal. I'm saying because, like, if I ask Corey how he lost weight, doing what he's doing may not work for me.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
you might not like it. Maybe it'll work, but you won't like it, so you're not going to stick with it.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, like, if I do what you are doing and it doesn't work for me, my confidence just shot through the floor.
Yeah, that too.
And so you start to tie your self-worth to all that. And then if it doesn't work for you, you're like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to eat, and it doesn't matter what I do. I'm just going to be miserable.
This is just my genetics.
This is just how I am, you know? And like,
that's too bad.
So I want you guys to find what works for you. But there is one staple that does impact everything, and that's calories in and calories out.
Absolutely.
If you're eating 3,000 calories a day, but you're only burning 2,000, you're gonna gain weight at a pretty fast clip. Like, and so that is like the one staple of every lifestyle change, diet, which I don't really like saying diet.
You can't say the word diet, but you can change your diet.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Diet in the sense of what you do, and not like a plan that you might have.
Yeah.
So like, you know, you get online and you see like this V-Shred guy, and he's trying to sell
super fake.
He's
called out by every
every fitness YouTuber hates that guy.
Yeah.
But and it works for some people. I'm not gonna say it doesn't. It does work for some people. But he's trying to get you to buy his supplements. He's trying to get you to do all this stuff. And you know, as gamers, we try to find, and I think as humans, we try to find fast, convenient, you know, easy. That's all these buzzwords that the fitness industry throws in your face every 2 seconds is just that. It's buzzwords.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
so it's like,
even look at like protein bars. Like, those are not fucking great for you. No. But they're sold as like a healthy fucking alternative to.
Yeah, and like that's the other thing. Find alternatives to stuff you like, and you won't have a problem eating. Like, I love like tacos, and I love like pizza, right?
Right.
Well, I've found like low calorie, low carb tortilla wraps that I can put in the oven with all the ingredients of pizza that I like, you know, as long as they're like low calorie, or as long as they're like, you know, decently healthy options. Throw it on the pizza, put it in the oven for like 8 minutes, and I have a pizza.
Yeah.
Like,
you're
you
not
know,
loading up your carbs and shit.
And I'm not loading up my carbs, not loading up my calories and stuff, and it works.
Yeah.
And I think like that's a fast food that you can eat and still game. So it's like finding ways to still do the things you love while also improving your life is like the goal, right? Like, You know,
Even
and you
like snacks is like the biggest thing for me.
exactly.
Like, and it made such a huge difference. Like, just changing what you have available in your house. That's the biggest thing. Like, if you go out and you make this stuff available in your house, yeah, you're gonna fucking eat it. But if you go out and get like my favorite is like snap peas or like celery. Sometimes
Same.
I'll cut up like peppers or whatever and just keep them in a container in the fridge, and then you use hummus as your dip, right? Hummus is more filling, so you're not going to sit there eating it the whole night. And it's more, I hate using like calorie dense because sometimes that means like the opposite, but it's filling is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's a lot more filling, so the calories are being like going towards doing something at least. Whereas when you're eating chips, have you ever been full off chips? No, the calories are super high, and you're gonna eat those fuckers all night.
Well, it's kind of like how Pringles is like, oh, I bet you can't just eat one. You know, like
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
right because you're not getting filled on it. Like if
Yeah,
you eat stuff that fills
exactly.
you up, you're not going to eat as much. It's just science, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So
But
replace the stuff you have. Like if you got chips and snacks, honestly, like veggies, like crunchy veggies for chips. Like because I'm a chip guy. Like I'm not like a sweets guy. I don't know what you would do if you're a sweets guy. I guess like strawberries. Like I do berries and stuff too, right? Like
yeah,
have a basket of strawberries in your fridge, rinse them off, put a bowl neck because like it's finger food, man. It's no different than eating cheesies or something, except
Yeah.
you're not getting cheesy fucking shit all over your controller.
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
But like the other problem is too, like, and I don't want to say that body positivity is bad.
not at all.
I think you should be comfortable in your own skin. I think, you know, people should just love each other regardless of how we look, you know, how we perceive somebody, unless they're like a dickhead, you know, like
Yeah.
if you're an asshole, like, yeah, fuck you. But if you're like, you could be 500 pounds and the nicest person in the world, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna be more likely to be friends with you than I am if you're 150 pounds and you're a dickhead. Like that's
Oh,
just
exactly.
that's just
That
how
has
it
nothing
is,
to do with
right? Like
anything. Yeah,
I judge people individually and not like by their action. I judge them by their actions and how they
not based on how they look. Basically.
right, exactly. You know, and that's like the thing, like the body positivity movement, I think, is
Gone so far over the.
yeah. It's like if you could have a positive out of it, it would be a lot better than the way this actually works. Because like,
Mhm.
that Kiana that you shared with me, she has a video on this woman that is basically telling people that saying obese or obesity or anything scientific like obesity is basically like saying the N-word. Like that obesity should be stricken from the dictionary and the medical dictionaries because it hurts people's feelings. And I'm like, that's too far. Like
Mhm.
obesity is a scientific term. Like it is something a doctor tells you that you are based off of science.
It's a
And
condition,
so
yeah.
it's a condition. So like it's not meant to make you feel bad. Like it should be a motivator, right?
It should be. Yeah, it really should.
But these people are trying to make it sound like
They're being bullied for.
they're
it,
being
yeah.
oppressed.
Yeah,
by
and people are
doctors.
bullied. Don't get us wrong. People are definitely fucking
Oh, yeah.
bullied for being.
People are
big-
definitely
big
bullied
boys.
for being big. Like I was bullied for being big back in the day. You know, like
Yeah.
it just happens. Like
But I think there's a difference between, and I think because of how much bullying there was with that stuff, makes it so there's such a stigma. Like to me, if I have a friend that I care about a lot and they're overweight and they're continuing to get bigger and bigger, like there's such a bad stigma to the point where I can't even tell that friend, "Hey man, I'm concerned about you. Like maybe let's fucking do something." Like
yeah,
I'm willing to help. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, and it's like, dude, I would want my friends to be like, hey, you know, I noticed you've put on like 30, 40 pounds. Like, is everything okay? Like,
yeah.
you know, and I know that like some people have medical conditions like thyroid problems and stuff like that that cause weight gain or weight loss or whatever. And we're not saying anything bad about those people because that's something that has to be regulated medically and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
more talking about the people that let themselves go and then blame everybody else for it, right?
Yeah. And we just
Like-
want everyone listening and each other to be around longer and have a better quality of life,
Yeah,
basically. Is what it comes
it's
down
like,
to.
and it's such a hard discussion to have because, like you said, people take it the wrong way, and that's
Yeah.
not how we want it. We want to be kind of a guiding light almost, like
We want you to know that we give a shit and we're going to do anything we can to help improve your quality of life if you want
right.
us to.
And it's not a personal attack. It's a I want to treat you guys like we're on the couch hanging out and we're friends and like we're on this podcast
Exactly.
we're talking like stuff like that. And that's how I've always wanted my channel to feel, and I know that's how you've always wanted your channel to feel, is like we're just hanging on the couch playing co-op,
Playing games together. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And so I want you guys to be around for way longer playing games with us.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's kind of the message we want to send with this, is that, it's okay that you've gotten to this point in your life, but you can fix it.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying that we're experts, because we're not. Like,
yeah,
we know what works for us and we're doing it, and you got to find what works out for you.
Yeah.
And so, like, just do it.
Yeah. I think the number one thing is find something that's a physical activity that you like to do. That's honestly the best way to do it. Like, some people do like working out. Like, I like lifting weights. Like, I don't mind. Like, I'll throw like a Twitch stream on or something, or some YouTube videos, and
Right.
I'll like lift weights and stuff. But I think most people hate it. Like, it's fucking boring, probably, right? But if you like, try different sports, man. Try, like, you like basketball. I like Muay Thai. Like, I like martial arts.
I was playing basketball for a while there.
Find something you guys like. Kayaking. My wife likes kayaking. Like, find an activity, try a bunch. If you're like, I don't like any physical activities, try some things. You might like them, right? Like, try. Some people like running, the sadistic bastards. Like,
yeah. What are they doing?
Like that shit. But swimming, even like swimming's fun as shit.
The other thing too, like, and I want to say this just because we were talking about bullying earlier, and it made me think of like the mindset people have when they see certain people in the gym.
Yeah.
If you see a 300-pound person in the gym, shut the fuck up.
Chances are they're working 300 times harder than you.
Like,
you know what I mean?
Like, seriously, I see these videos and stuff where like you see people staring at fat people in the gym. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, they're up off the couch doing something.
Absolutely.
If anything, if you're going to talk to them or you're going to look at them, if they have bad form or something, go over there and offer help. If they have, offer help. Don't sit there and be like, oh, fuck this fat motherfucker. What's he doing here? Taking up my gym and blah, blah, blah. No, dude.
I don't think that really happens. I think that's like more like, you'll see it obviously on the internet because only like the shittiest things rise to the surface. It's like scum. Scum sits on the top of the water.
Yeah, it really does.
But most of the time, like, that's not how. If you see the most, like, honestly, most of the times, the most fucking jacked guy at the gym is the nicest guy who's gonna help. If you ask him for help, he's likely the guy that's gonna help you out the most. And he's been on the journey for so long that he knows a lot of stuff that you don't know, that I don't know yet. You know what I mean? Like, that's the guy. That's the best guy to ask.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where, like, we just need to be better to each other, man. Like, support each other. And I feel like the internet just brings out the worst in everybody. And I've learned that lesson myself. And obviously, like, I've done it. I've judged people. And I, like...
Everybody has.
Yeah, right. Like, and the thing about the last 2 years has been, I have learned that I'm different from you.
Mm-hmm.
You're different from the guy down the street.
Absolutely.
We all have different tastes. We all have different lifestyles. We all have different circumstances that we go through. And it's not my job or my place or respectful at all to sit here and judge somebody or tell them how to live their life, because you don't know what they're going through, right? Like,
exactly.
That guy in the gym that's 300 pounds, he's up. He's doing something.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know what made his life the way it is. I don't know what caused him to come in the gym.
Yeah.
Like...
Yep.
All I care about is that he has decided he's going to start taking care of himself.
Yeah.
And I applaud anybody that does that. And if you're struggling to do that, the first day.
Reach out to us, honestly.
Like we'll have places you can reach out to
to
us, like Twitter, Discord, stuff like that you can reach out to us. Like if you're having trouble getting started, we can set you on the right path.
Yeah.
But ultimately, like we said earlier, just it's not what we tell you, it's what you take from it.
Yeah, and it's always gonna be just like anything. It's you have to want to do it too,
right?
Like as the person, you really have to want to do it. And when you start like exercising and stuff, like you will feel like shit for the first while. Like that's just a given. It's because your body's not used to it, right? Just like my body, like I don't eat a lot of fast food. If I went to fucking McDonald's and ate 2 double Big Macs, I'm gonna feel like absolute fucking dog shit. Like, you know what I mean? It's all comes down to like what your body isn't used to. Even if I try a different sport, I'm gonna feel incredibly sore the next day.
Right.
No matter how you get Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger in peak form, and all of a sudden he's fucking playing hockey or something. He's still gonna feel stiff the next day because you're using muscles you're not used to using. So don't feel bad if you feel sore or shitty the next day. That's part of the process.
Well, yeah, and that's your body's response to you growing.
Yeah, you're literally breaking down muscle because your body's like, oh, we need to improve this so that he can do this like better, basically, and then rebuilding
memory.
Yeah, rebuilding the muscle.
Right.
Restructuring your body, man. You can do it. That's the thing. People don't. I think people just don't think they can do it because they'll do it for like a couple weeks and they're like, I'm sore and I have no results. Like,
well, and it goes back to the fitness industry.
Yeah.
They always tell you fast, easy, blah, blah, blah. But it's not. It's not a fast
Nothing
process.
that works is fast and easy.
Right. Nothing worth doing is easy.
Yeah.
Like it's
even those ladies back in college, you know what I mean? Those are the worst ones. You're catching something from those ladies.
Yeah. But,
they're fast and easy, but not worth the trouble.
Right. So, but it's just funny because like I want people to be more confident in themselves. I want them to feel good. I want them to feel how I'm feeling right now. Because I was just like that. I hated my fucking self. Like I didn't like what I looked like in the mirror. And to be honest, I still don't. But I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and I let
honestly.
Yeah, I let myself.
There comes a point where you have to be okay with what you look like, but it's still a matter of changing like your health. Like sometimes what you look like on the outside doesn't necessarily represent your internal health as well.
Right.
Like,
right. Don't crash diet, by the way. That's horrible for you.
Yeah, don't do that.
Take little steps, baby steps. Maybe tomorrow, I'm going to go for a mile walk.
I'm going to walk to work if your work is within distance.
Maybe the next day I'm not going to eat that cheeseburger. I'm going to eat, a salad or
take the stairs.
Yeah, take the stairs even. Do something without doing extremes because extremes is also where you run into problems.
Yeah, and then you like burnt out and you're like, "Oh my god, this sucks." And it's like, well, yeah, if you fucking
just make something for yourself that's sustainable.
That's doable. Yeah.
Right. And it just takes those little changes, those little adjustments to your life to do it. And that's why like when it comes to gaming, I try not to sit at my desk for 7 hours anymore. Yeah. I try not to let gaming consume my life. I have a wife. I have a kid. I have a job. Like I have things that fulfill me besides gaming. And some people don't have those things yet. So gaming is all they either know, want to do, whatever, and they feel like something's missing. And that something missing could be that you find something you like to do outside of gaming,
and
but you're not doing it.
Yeah. Meet new people.
Make
new friends for life, man.
Yeah, like me and Corey met through video games.
Yep.
But then, last night, for example, we watched the one championship card together.
Yeah.
And, we're really good friends now. and we started a fucking pod. We started.
Sorry, it sounded so funny because you're like, we met through video games, and then last night we watched some fights, and now we're friends.
but like, you know, we're doing this podcast together now. I mean, we're permanent co-hosts, right?
Yeah.
So it's like make connections that you want to make, and you're gonna have a great time. And you know, someday I would love to go to Canada and hang out.
Yeah.
You know, and I'd love it if you come hang out in Illinois, even though it sucks.
I'd love to go to Illinois.
Right. So like, it's just one of those things where like, get out, do stuff, but also embrace your online friends. Like,
absolutely,
you don't have to leave them behind to do all these things.
No, not at all.
The message is positive. It's not us putting ourselves on a pedestal. It's not, you know, putting you down. It's we want to be
to bring. If anything, we want to raise you up. Like,
we want to put you on this pedestal. Mm-hmm. Like, we want to put you up here so that you can be who you want to be.
Yeah.
Whether it's getting in shape, you know, and you can. And that's why it kind of ties into an RPG. Like the job system. Well, how does a dragoon learn how to jump? You just do it.
You gotta start somewhere.
You learn the skill, you figure it out.
You gotta get the EXP and the JP, baby.
Yeah, you just do it.
Put the time in.
So I think
if you can walk back and forth in the woods fighting slimes for hours, you can I know you can go for a jog, lift some weights, do some push-ups. Like, you can be whoever you want to be, as long as you want to be that enough. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So this is something that I think we talked quite a lot longer than I thought we would about this topic, but I think it's one that I've been feeling so strongly about.
It's important.
Like,
yeah,
it's important, and that's the thing. Like, this won't always be the way this podcast is. Yeah. This is just kind of the first episode, and this topic has been on my mind for like months.
Yeah.
And so, and in fact, when we were talking about making this podcast, this topic was the very first thing that we got on. So I don't know. For me, it was a big deal.
I think it was just important to us that you guys know how important it is to us to that we all kind of raise each other up. Like, gamers have been bringing each other down for far too long, and I think what we want is for gamers to be bringing each other up. You know what I mean? Both physically, mentally, and just as a community.
Because gamers tear each other down all the time. Whether it's what you look like, or what games you play, or how you play games, or
exactly.
Are you good at this game? Like, there's so much fake shit, and we want to be the antithesis to all of that. So we want a community that is like-minded, like us. But at the same time, we want to welcome a lot of people. And, you know, whether you're in shape, out of shape, whatever you identify as, we don't care about that stuff. We want you as people to be a part of our community, and we want to raise each other up, and we want to be respectful, and we want to get rid of all the fake shit. I don't want to hear about, you know, such and such, you know, oh, how he reacted to such and such thing. Like, I don't care, man. It's like, I just want real people. I want the real you guys to be in this community.
Because what's the point? What's the point?
What's the point?
If somebody's doing something and it's fake as shit, why even? What's the point? In like, how do you enjoy that? I don't understand.
Well, it's like, I don't have to sit here and impress you, and you don't have to sit here and impress me. That's not what our friendship is about.
Exactly.
Like, if you're constantly trying to one up each other, that's not a friendship. That's like a it could be, but it's like a rivalry.
Yeah,
and most of those don't turn out the greatest.
No.
Right? You know, so like, we don't want our community to be a rivalry. We want a place where somebody can come and hang out and talk about stuff.
Talk about their favorite games. Talk about what their favorite pastimes are, like hobbies.
And also to not take everything so goddamn seriously.
That's the other.
Because if I sit here, and I'm not a big Dragon Quest guy. Corey knows that. Corey knows I'm not a Dragon Quest guy at all. Like, I tried playing 11, I just couldn't do it. Now, I might try and go back and do it again once I finish 16, you know, and the hype's died down and stuff for me. And, like, I do want to try again, right? Like, I'm open to trying again.
I think you should try 5.
There's
like 3 main ones that everybody will like recommend, and it's 5, 8, and 11.
But like me and him don't get into heated fucking arguments about how I don't like Dragon Quest, and he
exactly.
You know, it's we joke with each other.
Yeah,
and it's fine. It's fine to meme the shit out of each other.
Yeah,
but at the same time, like, I know when I get off a Discord call, or I'm talking to him on his stream, or I'm talking in Discord, that I'm not gonna walk away wanting to punch him in his nuts. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that's just what we're trying to foster here. And if that's something that you're interested in, you know, follow us on our social media pages. We'll put that in the descriptions or even on our page. You know, hang out in Discords and stuff, and just be good to each other. So
be positive.
Yeah. So I think that about wraps it up, dude.
I think it's good.
First episode.
First episode in the bag. I think next week the topic was more gaming related, so don't be afraid if you watch this and it wasn't entirely your bag. But
exactly.
Next week we got and most of these will be gaming related, but we just wanted to tell you guys how important it is to us that that stuff. I don't know, it's just so important, because I think we just need to build each other up and help each other out whenever we can. There's a huge gaming community out there. There's no shortage of help. We should all be able to help out one another.
Right. So a little preview of next podcast. We will be talking about Final Fantasy 16, because by the point that we record the next episode, Final Fantasy 16 will probably be out already. I'll have played it. I'll be able to give my impressions of it, maybe a quick review. Because even though Corey's not excited for that game, he does want to know about it.
Yeah, so I think it'll work better, honestly, because normally it's like we're both just like talking about the game, but I'm just gonna be curious about like what happens and what the game's like, because I'll have like no idea because I'm not playing it.
Right.
But I still want to know what happens. I want to know how I want to know how the game is still, right?
Right. And the thing is, like, if I tell you how it is and it piques your interest enough to play it, then, like, you know, you might find a game that you actually like that you didn't think you would. Could you know, and that's the other part of these discussions is, like, we're going to talk about games that you may have never played. Yeah. But once we do, and you're like, oh, this sounds like a great game, I want to play it. Well, guess what? Go play it. Like,
yeah, exactly.
So that's kind of what we're doing with Final Fantasy 16. So we will be talking about that. Another topic that we're going to be talking about next week, or not next week, but whenever we record again, is we kind of touched on it a little bit, but it's like how things used to be, like arcades. Like, we touched on that this episode.
Yeah, we did talk about that a bit. Hey.
But the way we're going to talk about this is like, you know, video stores, quality of games, demo discs, if anybody remembers those, like books for games, gaming books, like strategy guides and stuff that are now all online.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of stuff that we're going to talk about. We are going to have guests every once in a while, so stay tuned for that. Again, we're on all major platforms, iTunes, Spotify, right on my YouTube channel for our podcast. So there's not a lot of places you won't find us. But other than that, I think we're good. I think this is a pretty good place to wrap up the episode. Corey, it's been awesome. I had a really good time. Got anything else to say for the listeners?
Hey man, it's been fun, and I'm glad we finally lured you out of your cave.
Yeah, thanks for that. It does feel good. It does feel weird, but it does feel good. So, guys, this has been The Gaming Effect, where we have real names, real voices, and real opinions. I'm Alex.
Corey.
This is Corey. And we're out.
See ya.
Later, guys.